Hello, you're welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how we can use the GoSeek Excel feature to solve the problem I have on my screen. So the problem states a startup accelerator offers a founder package requiring an upfront contribution of $850. In return, the accelerator commits to annual mentorship credits starting at an amount YY after the first year, increasing by 12% annually for a total of 9 years. If your opportunity cost of capital is 17%, determine the minimum initial credit value, YY, that would make this package financially neutral. So the minimum initial credit value of YY that will make this package financially neutral is one that will make our NPV value to be equal to 0, so that we know that any value that goes beyond that YY value will be a profitable venture for us, while any value that goes below the YY value will not really be a good investment for us. So let's see how this works as we demonstrate it in this Excel workbook. So here in my A, I'm going to start by entering the information that have been provided here. So the first information is the upfront contribution. So I'll enter it. And that is $850. The next is my YY value. So my YY value is not given, and that's what we are trying to check for. But for the start, I will just enter 50, since we are going to use GoSeek to get the main value that we need. The next is my growth rate. Growth rate. So my growth rate provided is 12%, and tenure is 9 years. Our opportunity cost is 17%, and our NP value, that's net present value, is what we are looking for now, since we are putting in this 50 to use as a start value. So we are going to use this 50 to get our NPV. Now, next thing that we are going to do is to get our years and get our cash flow. So for years, we are starting from 0. 1, 2, 3. Now fill the series, and then for my cash flow, I'm going to start with the upfront contribution. So I'll enter it in negative. And then for my year 1 value, I'm going to be using this, my YY value, the one that I've just entered here. And here it tells us that it increases by 12% annually for a total of 9 years. So to be able to show this, I will start by entering my equal sign here. Then the B2, so I will make this absolute. And then I will multiply it by 1 plus the growth rate. Okay, so the growth rate, I also make it an absolute value. Then I will take the exponential. And since this is the initial value, I will just use exponential 0 so that we have the same value here. And as we drag down, it's going to recognize each of these down. So I will enter. Now what I will do is to now drag this down to 9. And these are the values that we get when we multiply by our annual growth rate of this 12%. Now let's get our NPV. So to get our NPV, you use the function NPV. And then the rate that we are using is this opportunity cost. Then the value that we are using will be from this year 1 to year 9. Then we close it and we add this year 0, that's our initial contribution, and enter. So it gives us this negative value, negative $524, which is not a good investment. So our question is that we should determine the credit value YY, the credit value YY that would make this package financially neutral. So that means we are looking for where our NPV will be 0 by changing this YY. So what we are going to do is to, from this home tab, come to this data tab. Then under forecast, where we have what if analysis, we select go seek. Then what we are going to do with our go seek now is to set our value to, that is this NPV, the B6. We are going to set it to 0 by changing the cell YY. Okay, then we click OK and OK. So you can see now our NPV is equal to 0, which makes our YY neutral, and our YY is now $130.76. So any payment, anything above this 130.75 is a good investment. Anything below it is a bad investment. And this is just a simple way we can use Go Seek to perform our calculations, our financial calculations in Excel. I hope you've been able to actually find this video helpful. Please, if you found this video helpful, kindly like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.